Welcome to Intuitive Defense. My name is Baker. In this video, I'll be talking about current events that positively benefit everyday Americans who choose to exercise their Second Amendment right through ownership of certain firearms accessories. The source information used for this video is in the article section of our Intuitive Defense website. We have provided a link to that article in the description of this video, so please feel free to use those references for yourself. The topic for this current event video is not necessarily a new topic or event, as this has been working through the court system for over a year, but the outcome is new. As we have discussed in previous current event episodes, there is an amazing amount of willfully ignorant, do-nothing politicians and unelected bureaucrats who are tirelessly working to limit and reduce your individual freedoms and rights by enacting or attempting to enact unconstitutional laws or rules. Thankfully, some of those tyrannical actions imposed on pistol stabilizing braces and bump stocks have been stopped. Before getting into the individual rights victory, let me briefly describe what happened for those who aren't up to speed. A pistol stabilizing brace is an attachment that allows for people with disabilities to more easily manipulate and more accurately fire an AR-15 or similar style pistol by attaching it to their forearm or to shoulder fire it if they so choose. It is not a buttstock and it does not alter the way a weapon fires. The Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms (ATF) administration retroactively decreed through an unconstitutional and arbitrary rule in January 2023 that pistol stabilizing braces were illegal to own, possess, and or use unless you comply with their new law, or what they call rule. Once the rule was published, an individual who was in possession of an unregistered pistol stabilizing brace was technically committing an arrestable felony offense. Now, keep in mind, this action was taken after 10 years of pistol stabilizing braces being legal to own and millions of people purchasing them. Basically, because the ATF changed their mind, they attempted to turn millions of Americans into felons if they did not comply by surrendering or destroying their property, the brace, or if they did not pay the government money in the form of a tax stamp to possess property they already owned. To learn more about this, please watch our current event episode 1, which is linked in the description of this video, or you can click on the video icon link that appears somewhere here or there. I really don't know. The other item the ATF arbitrarily banned through the use of a rule was the bump stock in 2018, but the final rule did not go into effect until March of 2019. Following a mass casualty event, former President Donald Trump demanded the ATF ban bump stocks. They did this by reclassifying the bump stock as a machine gun by manipulating the definition of machine gun in the Gun Control Act, GCA, and the National Firearms Act, NFA, to fit their requirements. Hooray for government overreach. Per the NFA, which is a whole other unconstitutional topic, a machine gun is defined as any weapon which shoots, is designed to shoot, or can be readily restored to shoot automatically more than one shot without manual reloading by a single function of the trigger. The bump stock is an attachment and does not alter the way a weapon fires. It does, however, use the already existing recoil motion of the weapon to reset the trigger, which means each time the weapon fires, the trigger is being reset. Only one projectile is being shot with a single function of the trigger. Therefore, it is, by definition, not a machine gun. But the ATF didn't care because they were given presidential authority to violate people's individual rights and to send them to jail because they could.
You're playing music too loud, right to jail, right away. You're driving too fast, jail. Slow, jail. You're charging too high prices for sweaters, glasses, you right to jail. You undercook fish, believe it or not, jail. You overcook chicken, also jail. Undercook, overcook. You make an appointment with the dentist and you don't show up, believe it or not, jail, right away.
During congressional testimony and political speeches, several anti-gun and anti-Second Amendment politicians vigorously and adamantly called for further restrictions of attachments by using examples of pistol stabilizing braces and bump stocks. Unfortunately, these same people are not informed on such topics and continually confused a pistol stabilizing brace with a bump stock. My point being, people who don't know what they're talking about desire to arbitrarily infringe on your rights using incorrect or made-up information as the justification to limit your freedom. To see these conversations for yourself, please watch our current event episode number 3, which is linked in the description of this video, or you can click on that video icon link appearing, here. Now that that's out of the way, let's get into the good news. First up, braces. And I'm not talking about the kind that go on your teeth. Sorry to all my British friends, I know you had your hopes up.
Oh, behave. Yeah. Yeah, baby. Yeah.
There's been a lot of ongoing litigation in defense of free ownership of pistol stabilization braces. There are also several temporary injunctions in place preventing the ATF from taking enforcement action, but those injunctions only apply to certain people, groups, or states. On June 13th, 2024, the Mock v. Garland ruling changed everything. Judge Reed O'Connor vacated the entire rule. Yes! In short, he found the pistol stabilizing brace rule put forth by the ATF to be invalid and struck the rule down in its entirety. This provides national relief to all people, not just certain groups or states. This means, for now anyways, you are no longer a felon for simply owning, possessing, and or using a pistol stabilizing brace. You don't have to jump through hoops to continue possessing property you already own. The second update applies to bump stocks. On June 14th, 2024, in a 6-3 decision by the Supreme Court in the case of Garland versus Cargill, which was a case challenging the government's unlawful ban on bump stocks, they ruled in favor of Mr. Cargill. That's awesome news. I appreciate the actions of Mr. Cargill along with all the groups responsible for representing him and getting us this victory. Thank you. Anyways, in short, this means the ban on bump stocks has been lifted by the Supreme Court because a bump stock, when attached to a semi-automatic weapon, does not change or alter the function of a single fire trigger, thus not meeting the definition of a machine gun and cannot be confined to the same restrictions and regulations as one. Keep in mind though, these accessories might become regulated again through legislative action. But for now, bureaucrats got their little pee-pee slapped by the judicial system. Pow! Even if you don't support the Second Amendment, as a free person, you should support the actions of an overreaching government being limited. If you allow the government to infringe on certain rights and freedoms because you don't like or agree with those particular rights and freedoms, it'll only be a matter of time until the government sets their sights on rights and freedoms you do like. If you give the government an inch, they'll take a mile. The easiest way to prevent them from taking a mile is to never give them an inch. Freedom tastes so good. Well, that's the new information, along with my observations and opinions. Although this video is specifically related to the Second Amendment, that doesn't mean the issue here is only limited to the Second Amendment, obviously. If they, the government, are willing to deprive people of certain freedoms and rights using manipulative methods and bureaucratic overreach, they are willing to do it on all freedoms and rights. It is the job of government to protect our rights, not limit them. Remember, the Second Amendment was not created to limit what people could or could not own, which is why it does not specifically state ownership of certain objects like muskets or cannons, or certain time periods of which people can own certain objects. The Second Amendment was created to limit government, which is why the only limitation specified within the Second Amendment applies to government: shall not be infringed. So what do you think? Are these new rulings good? Do they help protect individual rights and freedoms? Do you think the previous ATF brace and bump stock bans prevented criminals from doing criminal things? Do you think the ATF exceeded their authoritative power by creating new rules which turn law-abiding citizens into felons and deprive them of their property? Let us know in the comment section of this video what your thoughts and opinions are. Lastly, we're working on building the Intuitive Defense channel and have lots of ideas for upcoming videos, along with continued videos for our noob series. So please watch our other videos, along with like, share, comment, and subscribe to this channel for future content. Some of our videos might be more entertaining than listening to the Olympic sport of curling on the radio. To the unelected bureaucrats seeking to infringe on our rights and freedoms, you can get fired.